Mystic is definitely one of the most underrated classes in this game. I still see people playing it, but I feel like they're not really using it properly. And since Deca gave us a triple event white or triple conflict jug and quad little event, I feel like this was a good idea to upload the video now because a lot of you are going to be having conflicts. Now the reason this set is insane is because if you look at this clip here, we are having Berserk, Damaging and Speedy permanently at the same time. Now I know you need a good pet to pull this off, but if you don't have necessarily a good pet, you could just use a mana build. You do not really need Ritual Robe and Crown, even though that will help a lot in getting a lot of damage in. If you're not convinced, here is a clip of me in a Sprite World absolutely melting it with double buffs. Now that's probably the fastest way you can kill a Sprite World boss, and I can guarantee that maybe one of the shots there was not hitting at all times. Still not convinced? Here's a clip of Tharms trying to get a world record Shatters attempt, and what we see from this is that he kills the first tower so fast, that first boss, that the second one just instantly activates. Now you need quite a bit of damage to do that. You can't really do that soloing unless you are on a warrior with insane DPS set and you have an 100 electric pet, which Tharms doesn't have. So this class can produce the highest damage in the game if you're soloing. The reason for this is if you are in a group, the Curse, Berserk and Damaging is going to be applied to pretty much everyone there if you have Warriors and Pallies and Mystics, meaning that you won't be the only one with those buffs and everyone else will have those buffs, and there's a lot of classes that do more DPS than Mystic. But the fact is, in a solo situation, if we look at the DPS calculator here, you are doing a lot more damage than most classes. Or you're doing the most damage in the game. Like, there isn't a class that beats it, it's just that. But of course that is comparing it with Cult Staff. If we have Staff of Vital Unity here, you can see it is still quite insane. The damage is still really high. But again, another drawback of this is that it's kind of hard to concentrate on trying to double buff, curse, you know, at the same time. It's kind of hard while trying to not stasis the things that you're trying to curse. I can understand that it can get quite hard, but you can sort of use a hotkey. That's sort of a grey area in Realm. We don't know if that's allowed or not. I'm pretty sure it's not, but it does go against people's morals. So again, you could just use a mana set and just, you'll get used to it, spamming it every 2.5ish seconds. You could just keep spamming it. Or the reason I'm using Ritual Robe here. Right, so let's look at the items that I've selected here specifically. So obviously the star item here is going to be Conflict with the tier 6 orb, and I am using Unholy Sacrifice with Vital Unity. The only two staffs you'll ever need in the game. Honestly, you will never need any other staff. Possibly Tentacle's Tail, and that is only if you're doing Shatters switches, which if you're rushing them, to be honest, you don't really need that. You could just stick to Unholy Staff and just sit on them after you've cleared the whole room, unless again you're rushing, which is such a specific item, I just wouldn't even bring it. Then we have the Ritual Robe, because it actually increases the time that you are using your buffs for 0.2 extra seconds, which you might think is really nothing, but honestly you will start feeling the difference. 0.2 seconds, you honestly will start feeling the difference. And the Wiz helps you regen faster, and it gives 5 attacks, so that just helps with more DPS. The mana's nice, so Ritual Robe quite good here. Using a Soulless Robe swap out, because I think if I'm in a situation where I want to rush something, like I'm in a Dirty Shatters and I've got to rush, it's not a bad idea to have a Soulless as a swap out. Now the ring, the three best rings here are obviously going to be Crown, you know, you got your Bracer, you got your Omni. I obviously am using Crown here because it's just max damage. Like, I just want max damage, and let's just understand how beautiful that set looks. It is beautiful. Deca swap out again, I'll probably use Deca with Soulless when I'm running through stuff, and I don't really need the damage at the minute. I could just use Deca Soulless as a swap out so I can get through like a Dirty Shatters, for example, again. Anyway, I've got a few extra orbs. Honey Orb for slowing. I'm using it over the Orb of Ether because I could get into that in a different video, but I honestly think Honey Orb is better than Orb of Ether. And tier 2 orb for spam stasis. The fact is, with this set you have insane damage, insane range. What else could you ask for? Of course you're squishy, but you can use that mentality of you kill it before it kills you. and you'll be fine. Honestly, with DPS does matter. DPS can save you from dying. If you kill stuff faster than it can hit you, you know, you'll live. It won't shoot you. So go out, try this set. You're honestly gonna love it. You don't need cult stuff, just go use an Orb of Conflict, just double buff around with Curse. It is insane. Definitely best set, best class. Honestly, Mystic is insane. Why was the set not possible years ago? Well, Conflict got an insane buff. It now does not have a cooldown. It used to have like a 6 or 7 cooldown, which they got rid of, which is insane. It doesn't make the item OP, it just makes it usable. Honestly, items with insane cooldown are actually ridiculously rubbish. So, good thing they got rid of the cooldown there. And honestly, I don't have any clips of this, but I actually tried to get a Shatter's World record a while ago. Last year, in fact, I tried to get a Shatter's World record, and you can see here on this graveyard, I kind of died trying to do it. And even with this set, even without Crown and just Omni, I still had the DPS to insta the first tower so fast that the second one activated at first boss, just like the arms did. So the DPS, you don't need a Crown specifically, you can just use a Bracer, they're quite common. Go get yourself a Bracer if you don't put a Pyro, man, honestly. Anyway, I'm releasing this because I feel like a lot of people don't actually know the potential of Mystic here, but now you do. I've told you about it, so again, I'm going to tell you again, go out, go use a set, go find yourself a Conflict. I don't care if you don't have one, go get one. This item is honestly the best item in the game, not specifically because of the fact that it can damage. Obviously Pally buff Seal could do that, tier 2 Seal can do that, but it is usable on a class that already has Berserk, and as soon as you do that, you've literally butchered any enemy in the game.